So let me say this. If there is anybody that should call anyone out in this country over immorality and dishonesty, that person shouldn't be Very Dark Man. Judging by Very Dark Man's past, Very Dark Man lacks the moral justification to call anyone out in this country over immorality and dishonesty. Now, I know most of you will say, oh, that was his past. That was his past. Why do you keep judging people by their past? Why do you keep judging Very Dark Man by his past? Shut the fuck up. Who told you that that was his past? Who told you that everything Very Dark Man told you that he did in the past, or everything you heard that Very Dark Man did in the past, that he's still not doing them today? Who told you that? Now, let me open your eyes. Very Dark Man said that all of these things he did, that they were all in the past. As a repented person, as someone who has repented from all the atrocities he committed in the past, the first thing Very Dark Man should have done as a repented person would have been to call his former colleagues out, because these people are committing atrocities in our society. Because those people that Very Dark Man was giving blowjobs and giving handjobs in this country are still in this country, and they are still in the business of corrupting our children. They are still in the business of corrupting others and initiating others. So if Very Dark Man had changed truly, the first thing he would have done as someone who has embraced change would have been to call these people out, to expose them, because he told us that his job in this country is to expose evil, that his job in this country is to expose dark secrets. So these people he committed these atrocities with in the past, why hasn't he called them out? Because he says that he cannot shut his mouth anytime he sees evil. Now, there were people Very Dark Man committed these atrocities with in the past. There were people that Very Dark Man sucked their dick in the past. There were people that Very Dark Man gave blowjobs and handjobs in the past. Why is it that Very Dark Man has been unable to call them out? The reason he has been unable to call them out is that when he comes to social media to do all these social media razzmatazz, he goes from behind to still give them blowjob. He goes from behind to still give them handjob. But your brain no go reach that side. Do you know why your brain will not reach that side? Because you don't think. The reason your brain will not get to that point is because you don't think. Because if you can sit down and think, you will now ask yourself, why is it that this guy hasn't called his former colleagues out? Because these people are committing atrocities in our society. They are still initiating more people. As we speak, these people are still initiating more people, because Very Dark Man told us that these people are top politicians, that these people are top men in this country. So there is every tendency that these people are still in the business of corrupting more people. They are still in the business of corrupting our children. So do you understand now? So the fact that Very Dark Man hasn't called them out and will never call them out is because he still goes from behind to give them blowjob. He still goes from behind to... Do you understand? Now, some of you will now say, oh, that he didn't commit any crime. After all, that what he did was that he showed his nakedness. He used his mouth to suck people's Gbola. He used his hand to do the hand job. That's not a crime. Shut the fuck up. Who told you that that's not a crime? Who told you that that's not a crime? Now, what's the definition of homosexuality? First and foremost, let me say this. Are you aware that homosexuality is a crime in Nigeria? Do you agree with me that homosexuality is a crime in Nigeria? Now, if you agree with me that homosexuality is a crime in Nigeria, now, let's define what homosexuality is. Now, look at this definition. Look at this definition from Merriam-Webster. I don't want to read it myself. Just read it. I don't just want to read it for you so that my tone doesn't change the definition. So just read it yourself. After reading, then we'll continue. Homosexuality is defined as any romantic, emotional attraction to same sex. Any romantic, emotional, or sexual attraction to same sex. Now, when Very Dark Man satisfies his fellow man sexually, what does it mean? I mean, Very Dark Man was doing the job of a woman. I mean, now woman supposed give man hand job and blow job. Now Very Dark Man they do him. What does that mean? That's homosexuality, because he was sexually satisfying a man. He was giving satisfaction to a man that a woman should do. A job that a woman should do. That was what Very Dark Man was doing. Now, what do you call that according to this definition? That's homosexuality. So homosexuality isn't about penetration or being penetrated. Homosexuality, when you give your fellow man that sexual satisfaction, that romantic attachment, that emotional satisfaction that a woman should ordinarily give, that's what homosexuality means. So have you now seen that very dark man committed crimes as against what you've been claiming, that after all he sold his body, after all he used his mouth and he didn't commit any crime? Who told you that? Have you seen the meaning of homosexuality? Homosexuality not be when they dog you or when you dog person. When you carry your hand, they do your fellow man waiting woman supposed to do. Now homosexuality. When you carry your mouth, they do waiting woman supposed to do. Now homosexuality be that. Now that aside, listen, very dark man should be grateful to millions of Nigerian youths who upheld sanity in this country when he was swimming in the ocean of immorality. He should be grateful to many of us who upheld morality in this country when he was swimming in the ocean of immorality. Because if all of us in this country, if all the youths in this country had joined very dark man to do when he was doing, there wouldn't have been any society for very dark man to advocate for today. If all of us had joined very dark man in giving men hand jobs and blow jobs, by that time he was swimming in the ocean of immorality, there wouldn't have been any society for very dark man to fight for today. Therefore, he owes millions of Nigerian youths that gratitude. He owes us that gratitude for maintaining sanity in this country, for upholding sanity in this country when he was swimming in the ocean of immoralities. He owes us that gratitude, because if all of us follow him that time, they suck men dick, they suck Gbola, there wouldn't have been any society for very dark man to fight today. So he owes us that appreciation. He owes us that gratitude. See, very dark man, I always talk, say, any day you meet your match, you go not say, na hot water they kill tortoise. Now hot water they kill tortoise. So all of you, on our eyes go open in this country. That's for sure. Now maybe that hot water where they kill tortoise. So on our eyes go open. I'm dedicating my time this year to open your eyes. I'm dedicating my time this year to open most of our eyes, so that when I go to see some of these things. So now when I feel the reason where the reason clear, they see far. So when I feel the see road.